use Vault, my fellow gamers. So this is going to be an update for the Giant, but yes, you see Thorgrim's little group here. I'm going to work on them next. So what I did is, my problem with this Giant model is that these arrows are very sausage-like. They're very, very thick and chunky. So I created my own. Varying lengths of how they're stabbed in there, and their own fletching. They look much straighter and much more to scale than the other arrows do. So it's just polystyrene that I used, and what I used is evergreen stuff. So 0.035 inches rod, or 0.88 millimeters. So this stuff is very thin. Let's see. What I use this stuff for are rivets. I cut it very, 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 very thin, very small. But that's what I use. I know that they have rivet punch tools that are extremely expensive. If you want to see one of those, go on to Plasmo went and bought one of those. And he's a good model maker from somewhere in Europe, Ukraine, whatever, I don't know. One of those Slavic countries. But he's a very good model maker, very modest. And he's actually very popular. Lots of views. And he makes all kinds of models. He doesn't really do too much with fantasy and stuff like that, but, you know, it's mostly car models and planes. He loves planes. And for the fletching, I use this. And it's a very thin styrene sheet. I can't tell you how thin because it came in a multi-set, different thicknesses. And this was the thinnest that came in there. So, and all I did with this styrene sheet is I just cut little angles on the side. And I used a pair of scissors and cut them all off, and it made all these little diamonds. And then that's what you glue on the end of these. And of course you're going to use the Tamiya extra thin cement, this stuff here. Now I went and I bought this because it was available at Hobby Lobby, and I have seen this used on other channels. Like I mentioned Plasmo, he uses Mr. Cement S to great effect, and I'm thinking it's going to be basically the same formula that the Tamiya is. The thing is that this was available, and the Tamiya, you go on Amazon or whatever, try to order it online, and this mess is like $13 a bottle. Ridiculous. And I wasn't going to do that. So, he has his styrene arrows in him, and 2 on that side. So, he's ready to rock and roll. And I also added some shale on his base with some stumps, some metal stumps from Woodland Scenics. I've got one in the back here, a tiny one. So what I'll do is I'll prime the model as this, and then I'll paint it like this, and on this flat area I'll just add some flock, so it'll be a nice rich base. And I think when I start my ogres, I'll go ahead and I'll base them the same way with some shale pieces and a nice rich green base, stumps or whatever else, trees in there, but should be nice. And on this guy, I don't think I'll add the little human model that goes with it. I don't know. Like, I just think he looks cleaner without the thing, to be honest with you. It's pretty morbid, and, I just kind of want him as is. If I'm going to do any morbid stuff, it'll be with the Undead Army. So the guy hanging upside down, it will be a bit for later use. So I think this guy's ready to rock and roll. I still need to clean up the green stuff work here, so he doesn't look like Frankenstein all sewn together. But yeah, he'll be ready to prime up very soon. And speaking of priming up, I've actually got this Juggernaut ready to prime up. He's based. I put some edged brass on his base. I had to jack it up a bit more. This came from the old set, an old Games Workshop set. I just had no good reason for it until now. It doesn't really give much to his base, but hopefully when it's painted up it looks better than it does now. It's kind of flat. And, I like to do bases that are up a little bit more. It's got some polystyrene shavings on it. There we go. But yeah, I like to do more stuff, but I ran out of my I-beams. I have no more of those. Rage. I know what you're feeling, Iron Ancestor. Alright. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and it's just a little bit of extra elbow sweat to get good looking arrows versus sausage arrows. Okay, and these are mostly the same length, so you're not going to get a variation in look. Yeah, just put in a little bit more effort if you have the materials. You can do that, and if you're a modeler without materials, then something's wrong. You need to get yourself a whole bunch of polystyrene and use it, because scratch building is awesome. It's the stuff of legends. So, you can see you make good in-scale arrows. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you later. Carry a liaison.